Welcome back to the Your Health television program hosted by the Monterey County Health Department. I'm Emily Sciolto, your host today, and just about every third Monday of each month. So today we're talking all things West Nile virus, and we have a lot of ground to cover in the next 40 minutes or so. So I'm going to pick up right where I left off by introducing my next guest, Mr. Ken Klemme, biologist and manager of Northern Salinas Valley Mosquito Abatement District. Welcome, Ken, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed. So Ken, set us straight here. What is mosquito abatement?
Well, a lot of people ask me that all the time. What is a mosquito abatement district? And what we are is a special independent district that is funded through property taxes and a $5 parcel fee. And so basically what we're charged to do is control mosquitoes.
Okay.
And the reason why mosquito abatement districts were started in the first place was because of malaria. We had a very bad epidemic of malaria, practically worldwide. And then in the United States, mosquito abatements were formed, and we were able to control malaria and eradicate it. So from there, malaria still infects millions of people worldwide every year and kills hundreds of thousands of people. And so the reason our district was started was because in 1950, the saltwater mosquitoes started to invade Salinas.
Oh.
They can travel 25 miles inland, bite all the way in, and then go ahead and bite all the way back out.
Wow.
And they were so thick that they were actually stopping farming operations, that they were clogging the intakes of the tractors, and then that's why our district was formed.
Wow, that's a really cool story. Thank you for sharing that. I'm envisioning a swarm right now. I don't know if that's a good thing. So what kinds of services does Northern Salinas Valley Mosquito Abatement District offer to the community?
Well, first of all, our service area goes to the Pajaro River, and it covers as far south as the city of Monterey. It goes to the Pacific Ocean all the way to Fremont's Peak.
Okay.
The services that we offer are free mosquito inspections and for residents and treatment of mosquitoes on their property. We also do a lot of trapping. We have traps placed all over the county. We have 18 different locations that we monitor and trap. And we check the species. We check for exotics or invasive species and just for historical purposes. And then we report that to the state. We also, like if people are having mosquito problems at their house, we can do CO2 trapping, which we take dry ice and we put it inside of a trap, and then that mimics a human being. And the CO2 that's emitted is like you breathing out, and that draws the mosquitoes into the traps. And then from there, we can test them for virus and send it into the state for further testing. The other services we offer are mosquito fish. We like to put mosquito fish in horse troughs or little ponds or fountains or swimming pools that are neglected. They seem to be very efficient at eating the larvae. When they're small in the beginning of the season, though, they have a hard time keeping up, but then once they get a little bit bigger, then they're ready to go and can keep up pretty well. Also, we offer educational services. So we can come out to service groups and we can talk to them. Sometimes they have trouble finding people to speak at their luncheons or whatever, so we can do that. We also go to schools and provide information to the kids. We used to have a very extensive school program, and so teachers just need to get in contact with us, and then we can go ahead and make that possible. We also do consultations with property owners.
Okay.
Like we'll teach them how and what they can do to minimize mosquito production on their property. And we can also help them manage the mosquitoes on their property.
Wow, so you mentioned the cost for services are?
The cost for services are included in the property taxes.
So it's no cost really to
It's really no cost.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
So you do, and I mean, I can tell guests, viewers, I kind of have, I've been to your office, and it's an awesome place. There's a lab set up there. The mosquito fish are really cute, getting bigger, still cute. So you guys breed them there, and then you give them for, bring them for free to people's homes, like you said, to kind of ward off mosquitoes in standing water areas.
Right, and they help us limit our use of pesticide usage and stuff like that. So they're very good at helping us out.
So yeah, you try a number of different things, kind of troubleshoot whatever issue is happening, and try a number of different things before you resort to other things.
That's correct.
Okay, so we heard a little bit about the history of West Nile last segment, but did you have anything that you wanted to mention about either the history or how the virus is transmitted to humans that kind of, you know, deals more with what you do in mosquito abatement?
Well, yeah. The mosquitoes that transmit the disease are Culex mosquitoes, and they tend to bite at night.
Okay.
And they are attracted to really dirty, filthy water. And so what people can do is just look around their home for little containers or stuff like that that will hold water, and they can just dump them out. And that can help lessen the risk of being exposed to that type of mosquito. And also, the mosquito bites the birds, and then the birds are what really carries the disease. And so when the mosquito goes back to bite a human, maybe they received an incomplete blood meal, and they need to get a little more blood to finish what they're doing, then that's when a human becomes infected.
Okay, so we've got, you mentioned the type of mosquito that you could potentially get West Nile from. Now, do all mosquitoes bite?
No,
Okay.
and a lot of people ask me that. Not all mosquitoes bite. Some can create their eggs from nectar, but a lot of mosquitoes do require a blood meal to be able to create their eggs. So that's why they're in search of protein, but some mosquitoes can, in fact, use nectar.
Okay, so it's not that all mosquitoes can give you West Nile virus.
Right, and out of those mosquitoes that can bite, only the females bite, and that's something that I learned, yeah.
Oh, so it's even the smaller population
That's
of
correct.
mosquitoes that can give you West Nile and that can even bite.
That's correct.
So how do mosquitoes become infected? You mentioned that you have here a little a diagram of the transmission cycle, and you talked about from birds. Any other way that mosquitoes can become infected?
No, it's primarily from the birds,
Okay.
and they bite a bird and then they transmit it to a human.
So then how come the amount of West Nile or the prevalence of West Nile varies from year to year? Is it because there's a lot of birds with West Nile, or how does that work?
I tend to think that it relies heavily upon weather.
Okay.
If you have a particularly mild winter and it doesn't cool off, it doesn't just freeze and kill all the mosquitoes, then you're going to have that bigger population in the springtime to create more mosquitoes. And you may have some that carry the disease over winter. And you'll have a lot of mosquitoes that's a survival strategy, is they find a nice place, a nice warm place, and they just hide out all winter near your house or in some bushes or whatever.
Okay.
And so, yes.
So you're saying that weather, though, but when we talked before, you also mentioned that when it's really hot, when it's hotter than normal, there's less water availability.
Right. So when there's less water available, you have all the animals fighting for the same watering hole. And so when you have that and you have a concentrated number of mosquitoes and animals, you tend to get the virus generating a little bit faster.
Okay. And you mentioned something earlier that I guess I'm curious about now. So they stay around in the wintertime?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes. Some of them overwinter as larvae or pupae, and some of them overwinter as adults. But yes, that is a survival strategy. They just go and find a nice little place to hide, and when spring comes around, and they pop out.
Okay. So they don't fly south with the birds? No. Okay, that's a long distance. So how can viewers reduce their risk of being infected with West Nile?
Well, we always try to educate people and teach them to dress appropriately at dusk and dawn when mosquitoes are most active.
Oh, okay.
We teach people to use repellents. You can use DEET or eucalyptus oil or Picardin. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's also a lot of bogus stuff out there too.
Okay.
But DEET, we recommend DEET. And proper screening is important because one of the types of mosquitoes that transmits the disease likes to come into the house. There's actually two species, a southern house mosquito and a northern house mosquito, and those are the ones that will come into the house and likely transmit the disease. So proper screening DEET, dress appropriately, and then dump, drain, or maintain any kind of water sources in or around your property.
Okay.
And you know, we've seen a lot of stuff over the years, and even gutters on the top of your house, you know, by the roof, will hold water and they'll get clogged up and they'll be breeding mosquitoes. I remember one house, the washing machine leaked, and it leaked to the sub underneath the house, and the whole house underneath was breeding mosquitoes. Yeah.
Makes it kind of easy to get in that way?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So we heard a few things that people can do just themselves, and then what you guys do, mosquito control.
So what we do is, first of all, we try to educate, and then after that, we will actually use heavy equipment to try to get the water flowing again in the bigger sources. So as long as the water doesn't stagnate, then you can, and get the water flowing, then you really won't get a lot of mosquito breeding. And we also use heavy equipment to do habitat enhancement, and so that really creates a lot of biodiversity and predation, and so the mosquito larvae really don't have a place to hide when we get done cutting tules or cattails, and it really enhances and makes things look better, and the animals like it too. So
Well, thank you for doing that. Those are some of the ways. What about, you mentioned earlier that you've been around, I mean, Northern Salinas Valley Mosquito Abatement District has been around for a number of years.
that's correct.
And mosquito abatement in and of itself has been around for 100 or more years. Can mosquitoes be eliminated altogether?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think there's been attempts to do that, but I think you'd probably have to ask God when you get there, but they do have a purpose somewhere in the food web, but I don't know what. But you know, I think there's attempts to genetically modify mosquitoes and possibly take them out permanently, but I don't think so. We've been working at this for so long, and they're still here. So.
And you guys have a number of good strategies that you kind of talked about.
Right.
So more along the lines of in the home, how can people tell if they're producing mosquitoes in their yard? You talked about gutters, but how would someone know to check gutters or to check the foundation or to check, you know, how do people know?
Well, if you notice a lot of bites, you can call us. You can see them. A lot of times we'll go to a house and they'll just be all over the wall. You know, they'll be looking for a place to rest or hide, stay out of the sun, and they'll just be all over the house or wall. And, you know, people know they're just all bit up and not very happy, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Itching a lot.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing that someone, no, I'm going to ask you that in a second. Why do mosquitoes gravitate to grass and shrubs in the garden areas?
Well, they're like people too, kind of, I guess. They have to hide from predators and that sort of thing. And they also need to protect themselves from desiccation and drying out. So they need those moisture areas to kind of hide, and especially like a female, like if she's just gotten a blood meal, she needs to hide out and process that blood for a little while. Oh. So they could be hiding out for, you know, protection reasons. Okay.
And yeah, what I was going to ask is, what's the most important thing that someone can do to reduce the chance of you know, getting West Nile or another mosquito-transmitted disease? What would you say are the most important things that people can do?
I would say dress appropriately at dusk and dawn. Make sure that you're not breeding mosquitoes on your property. If you're going to go into an area, Monterey County is very safe. You know, we have a very low occurrence of West Nile virus, but if you travel into other areas of the state or the United States where there's higher prevalence of West Nile, definitely bring your DEET, you know, be careful, dress appropriately, and just do what you can to stay away. If you notice them around, maybe head indoors.
Well, thank you, Ken. Should viewers be contacting you if they think they have a problem?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're already paid for through the property taxes, so why not take advantage of us? Call us up, stop by the office, get a tour.
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun. We just got a new fish rearing facility where we can rear our own fish, and we're doing a lot of great things down there, and the public it's their office too, so they need to stop by and check in on us and check it out, or call us up and we can come out for free service or consultation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ken. You heard it here. Stop by Northern Salinas Valley Mosquito Abatement District. It is a really good time, actually, to be quite honest with you. We're about out of time here, so I think, we're going to have to stop. And Ken, I want to thank you again for letting our viewers know about everything that you do. It seems very unique and also very critical services that you provide to the community, so thank you. If you'd like more information from the Northern Salinas Valley Mosquito Abatement District, visit them on the web at montereycountymosquito.com. That's www.montereycountymosquito.com. Right now we're going to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be back in just a moment with more of the Your Health Television program.